Hi, it's been a while. I met you at TCA, and I know you through Rob
Oh
Salem.
my
I,
goodness. Oh, really? I
I know
just saw
you
him in
just,
Toronto.
that's what
Yeah.
he said, never look away, right? In Toronto.
Yeah.
So good for you. Good for you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, so can you tell us a bit about the premise of My Life is Murder for those who may not be familiar with it, and what drew you to the show and your character in particular?
Okay, so we wanted to do a little murder show that was kind of lighthearted and contributed to a net good on the planet because I've done a lot of shows with sex and violence and blood and guts and stuff, and I just didn't want to do that anymore in 2018 when Claire came to me and said, "Do you want to make a murder show?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do something kind and good." So that's our point of difference is that this is a little psychic holiday from your cares and woes. It's a lovely, light-hearted way to um, finish the week. In New Zealand, it's on the Sunday, and and they're also uh, they're like your best friends. So you get to check in with your new mates, your best buddies. So these four people in the show, Alexa, Madison, Harry, and Reuben, are a little intentional family, and everybody wants those kind of buddies. So it's aspirational on a lot of levels. The freedom that Alexa has as an unencumbered woman. Um, people aren't walking out on their marriages because of the show, but it's a nice little, how might my life be? I might go off and solve some murders and wear a great trench coat. So
There you go.
now we have
Yeah.
all these women in New Zealand, like mobs of women walking around in trench coats, visiting all the sites of My Life is Murder. It's an actual tour you can take. I just think it's so cute.
Yeah, how's your character evolved throughout the series, and what can viewers expect from her in the upcoming series, if you can talk about that?
Well, she doesn't evolve too much because, as you know,
Right.
um, you don't want your lead characters can't change too much. Everyone around them can have great evolutions, but your character has to remain a constant. But she does develop somewhat because in this season in particular, um, her past comes back to haunt her in a wholly unexpected way while investigating the last murder, which is a two-episode arc, and she has to deal with some very uncomfortable reminders of her husband's demise. So, yeah, that was a little bit of a turn up for the books that the writers came up with. I like that.
Good. So, what challenges and opportunities did you find in portraying your character in the new season? Anything?
The opportunity is to work in my own accent, which means that and in my own country, so there's so much sort of cultural um, relevance that the show has that resounds in me so that I could use, which I couldn't use in an American one because it wouldn't make any sense. But so it's got a Kiwi idiom that was fun. It's challenging because Auckland is littered with road cones, and it's really hard to frame them out, but we manage it. And the rest is just keeping up with the demands of the show because it's very dialogue heavy and it's relentless. So when we film, it's hard work. It's not Xena because I'm not doing stunt fights or anything, but it's just as relentless in terms of dialogue and keeping up with the requirements of every scene.
What
And
about
you
the
know what's been a big
Go ahead.
surprise? Big
What's that?
surprise to me. I I love working with all the young actors, the 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 people who lack confidence or might be their first job, and making sure that they're put at their ease and feeling valued and having fun so that they can do their best possible work. That's really important to me that everyone who comes on the job can bring their A game, and I'm gonna make sure the environment supports that.
I'm glad you talked about the young actors because I wanted to talk about the dynamics between your character and the other characters on the show, especially in the upcoming season. Are there any new relationships or conflicts that viewers should be on the lookout for, or can you talk about that at all?
Uh, there is a woman. Um, there is a character in the double episode, and who gets under Alexa's skin a bit because she's a master manipulatrix. So, so that was fun playing with somebody who could give Alexa as good as she gets, you know.
And looking at back at the previous seasons, do you have any favorite moment or episode that stands out to you, Lucy?
I love the nutty murders and some utterly ridiculous. There's somebody who gets killed with a tennis ball machine, which I just thought was so funny and audacious and just nutty. You know, it appeals to my sense of humor. But there's some murders which are so horrifying because of their plausibility. And we want to be a little bit careful sometimes not to give out recipes for actual poisoning because God forbid somebody should do it, you know. But there was one that was so brutal in its simplicity and application, where a woman is basically waterboarded to death with champagne, and it was just not only a horrifying waste of champagne, but um, an intimate, up close and personal, intimate um, demise with sort of political, not political, but you know, the sort of thing they do in torture zones. You know,
That was
not with champagne, but you go, holy shit, that could really happen.
that could really happen.
Awful. Yeah,
So that was from the previous seasons. So
that was this season. No, that was this
that was
season.
this
Both of
season.
those. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
So are there any standout moments for the upcoming season that you're particularly excited for the audience to see?
Oh, just my brother comes back.
Oh yeah. Good.
So divine.
Cool.
Yeah, Martin Henderson is the finest of men. Um, so yeah, it's a lovely little family of people actually.
Lovely. How do you personally relate to your character, and what aspects of her do you find most intriguing?
Not that it's intriguing because it's just like kind of in some weird way playing yourself. You know that so I don't find it intriguing because I'm just letting it all hang out. I'm a little cross with myself if I see my face too rubbery because I'm like, you know, too expressive sometimes. So I've got to remind myself, tone it down. And then I'm shocked, like, do I do that in real life? Oh my God, I do. Like, it's there might be even a little too much Lucy in this character.
Love it. We love Lucy. Oh, I love Lucy. We love Lucy. Yes, we do. Um,
Thank you.
has there been any the most rewarding aspect of working on My Life is Murder for you?
I love working with that pussy cat, though he's a bit of a diva. And again, the young actors, like working with Nell Fisher last year as my daughter, as my niece. That was so wonderful. I'm very fond of that kid. And Martin Henderson is not only a bit of a heartthrob for the fans out there, he's just a fine, fine human being. Um, the treasure for me is working with those young people. I can't tell you what satisfaction it gives me. So when I get to direct my first scripted film, I'm going to use all those skills, you know, to get great performances, especially out of people who haven't acted before. It's very important.
Sure, sure. Well, miss you, love you. So glad that you're
Thank you,
continuing to.
ma'am.
You and I go to Toronto every now and then for film festivals and such.
Oh,
So
so good. Eh? It's a great town for film festivals because
yeah,
the audience is so literate.
Absolutely. So great. And
Mm,
we'll be looking for your new doc and continuing to
please,
watch this show and spreading the word. So
love it.
you
Thank you
keep
so much.
you keep watching, looking out for HollywoodTimes.net.
Will
And
do. Will do.
thank you, sweetie. Keep up the great work
Thank
that
you,
you do.
Valerie.
Thank
All
Thanks
right.
very much.
Stay
Cheerio.
well.
Bye.
you.